everybody, welcome. This is Dallas Sear from Excel with Dallas Sear. I want to thank you for taking time to watch this great video, and I am excited because we get to bring you another wonderful monthly master. Today we're here in Simsbury, Connecticut at Matthew J. Wagner's Fine Photography, and this guy is a creative genius, all-around good person. I've been friends with Matthew for about 5 years or so, and so I know for a fact that he's got a lot to share and there's going to be a lot for us to learn. So let's go see what kind of ideas and creativity we can steal from the master. Let's all head on in. Matthew! We are here, my friend. How are you, sir?
Hey, welcome to the studio.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Why don't you give us a little tour around real quick?
Come on in. Check it out. Come on into the studio. See some more stuff.
Good.
No, you're
After you. Yeah, I love it in here. It's always so cozy.
Yeah.
So am I catching a good time? How are things going?
Things are going great.
Yeah?
And they're only getting better.
Good music
all
reference.
All you from the 80s.
Yeah, exactly. Did you catch the music reference? Matt, I can't thank you enough. I appreciate you taking the time to sit and talk with me. I know that the readers and watchers are going to get a lot of this interview just because you do have so much to offer. And you guys don't know this, but I've known Matt for quite a few years, and I've got to see him come from very humble beginnings, to say the least. In fact, all of the photos, like the executive photos that you see on my website, that's the guy that did them. And we were actually in his kitchen at the time.
Yes.
We were operating from a kitchen, so you've come a long way, my friend.
Yes, from kitchen to Farmington, and now here we are.
That's right, that's right. So one of the things that I like about the business owner's story, the entrepreneur story, is that just like yourself, many people don't come out of the womb knowing what they want to do, go to school specifically for it, and then end up in their dream career. It doesn't always happen that way. So why don't you share with the readers a little bit about how you got where you are?
Well, I've always enjoyed everything that I do, but the way I ended up where I am now with the photography is kind of goes back to the early 90s. My mom found out that I was going to go to my first trip to Italy, and she got me a really nice point-and-shoot Fuji camera that had a zoom lens on it, and she wanted me to be able to experience the joy that she experienced of documenting vacations and trips and things like that. So she encouraged me to take lots of pictures wherever I would go because I would never know where I'd be back there again. So I followed her advice and took a bunch of film, and unfortunately the second trip to Italy, about 5 months after that first trip, I lost the camera. It didn't make it back. Somehow I think the transit authority of Italy ended up getting my camera.
Confiscated, yeah.
But
you didn't have anything too racy on it.
No, but I didn't feel, at that point I just felt so bad about losing that gift that I just felt guilty, and didn't feel like I deserved to ever have a camera ever again. So I just kind of took the guilty stance and denied myself of that. But about the same time, a friend of mine felt totally opposite. He said, no, photography's the greatest thing. You gotta get a camera. You gotta get an SLR camera because it's the greatest thing. Photography is great. And so I'm like, yeah. So just to get him to shut up, I said, I'm going to get a camera, and that's the way this guy will leave me alone.
Yeah.
So got an Ultimaxim 7000, and I said to myself, I'm going to spend this money, but I want to treat it like an investment. I'm going to pay for this camera somehow, using the camera and to justify the expense.
Right. And
probably also subconsciously just to kind of redeem myself for the loss of this other gift that my mom gave me.
That's a tough loss. I know I hate losing stuff. I don't think I ever lost something like that.
So anyway, I just would take the camera and I would take it to weddings I was invited to and practice. I would read magazines and books and just try everything out that I could and apply what I learned. And years later, I was working with somebody else who was a part-time professional, and I would show him my work, looking for critiques and compliments. And at a certain point, this was the guy that actually photographed my wedding.
Okay.
And shortly thereafter, as I was showing him my work, he decided that he felt it would be good to bring me along on his jobs because he could see the quality of my work increasing and improving. So I would assist him off and on for the next 4 or 5 years and doing wedding work. And then in 1999, I think I got approached by somebody and they wanted me to do their wedding, and I ended up having Chris, my my wedding photographer assisted me in my first wedding. And a few years later, he moved to Colorado, and I was on my own, working with Teresa at weddings. So,
Right.
and that's kind of how it went. So.
Yeah, like a little journeyman story, you know.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just out of college and you knew that's what you wanted to do. It kind of found you, so to speak.
Right. But one of the things that I really always has driven my passion for improving is wanting to do things as best as possible, the pursuit of excellence. So, you know, my mom encouraged me to take lots of photographs wherever I went, but she also said that it's never good as the real thing. But I would read magazines like National Geographic and see these beautiful images, and I said, you know, these look better than certain realities, so there's got to be a way to make images seem even better than what you saw. So that was kind of my driving force, is always try to see how I can improve and make things better until it got to the point where people just really could value what they saw with those images.
And see, you know, that's one of the things that ever since the day that I met you, you've always seemed to have a great creative mind, a good marketing mind, just a good all-around entrepreneur and business mind. And so that strive for excellence, would you say that that's mostly what you attribute it to, or what else is there?
Yeah, just wanting to do the best for others. I'm very driven by making other people happy, and that's something that I also get from this type of work. Striving for excellence as well. A lot of maybe the business and marketing successes that I've had in the early years come from different parts of my background, my life, but at a certain point I realized that I needed to do more, and there were certain answers that I didn't have, certain questions that I didn't have the answers to. So I met with a couple of coaches who specifically work with photographers in this industry, and they helped me to see my deficiencies in a nice way, as far as why I wasn't reaching the goals I wanted to be reaching, and then showed me their excellence and what they were capable of, and what they were capable of teaching me. And when I saw that, I immediately recognized the trueness of it and the excellence of what they were doing, and that was specifically in sales and marketing.
You know, it's funny though, at that time though, if I remember correctly, you weren't doing as well financially as you'd like to, so how did you make that decision, make that justification that I need to spend this money to get where I want to go? Because some people get stuck there.
Well, they said they would help me get out of my debt, and I said,
that's usually incentive, right?
You know, these guys are serious, and I believe them, and they have been helping me totally with that, and it's been awesome. So I use that to justify. I spend, you know, the amount of money that they were looking for me to invest is similar to what I would invest in a piece of photographic equipment, maybe a lens or something. But what I've got out of my investment with them has been made up many times over. It's paid for itself many times over. I have no regrets at all.
So you'd say because of the coaching, you're now a better businessman as well as a better photographer?
Yeah, people call me a genius all the time. You know, I would do a bridal show, we had a live demo. Other vendors at the show were just shaking their heads and like, wow, that's such a great idea.
Right.
You're a genius. And I was like, well, I can't take all the credit for that.
Sure.
But I know I wouldn't have done a lot of these things. You know, having these gallery events and installations at some of the places here in town, people just are amazed and love it, and I can't take the credit for it. Very happy to shift the credit to my coaches, but I know without that, I would not be doing a lot of things that I'm doing now.
There you go. I can't argue. Get a coach. It's important to have a coach. Everyone, even coaches have coaches.
That's right.
So I definitely agree with that. Now, so the need to strive for excellence. Looking out for how you can improve and benefit someone else, as well as being coachable. Yeah, so I mean, you know, aside from the things that we've already touched on, is there anything else that you would attribute to your success and the joy that you have with your career?
Definitely my relationship with God and my relationship with my wife, wanting to please both of them, and qualities like humility, and wanting to have an attitude of gratitude and wanting to serve others. All these things I think come all together, and people appreciate all those factors, and they can recognize that when they see it, and it helps to enrich their lives. So
Well, I agree, and I sense that that's the case. So again, I appreciate you taking the time. I'm sure that everyone's learned a lot. I know that I have. And Matthew's actually been kind enough to offer the audience a little bit of a giveaway, so check the website for that. It'll be just below the video. And thanks for joining us. Thank you, Matt.
All right. Thanks, Thomas.